Hello all, in this video I am going to discuss the concept of projections. So before going into the concept, I will give you the basic idea about the need for the projections and what is projection. So if you know, in real world most of the products or parts are made of three dimensions, that is the length, breadth and height, and these objects are called 3D objects. So if you represent a 3D object in a drawing sheet, then that particular object is called pictorial drawing. Pictorial drawing is easy to understand and also it is easy to communicate. But the problem with the pictorial drawing is it does not show the true shape of the solids. So therefore the pictorial drawing cannot be used effectively in the manufacturing environment or in the design environment, because as we discussed in our first class, in order to effectively communicate to the manufacturers, all the dimensions of the features in the drawing need to be provided. For instance, if you have a circle on a rectangular block, the diameter of the circle, the position of the circle, and if it is circular hole, the depth of that circular hole needs to be given. Whereas in a pictorial drawing, it's very hard to represent these features. So that's why the concept of projection comes into play. Let's see how the projection works. Refer this drawing. So there are few terms mentioned in the drawing, something like plane of projections, object, line of sight or projectors, then view. Okay, and you could see the image of a person. Okay, let's discuss one by one. Okay, so first the plane of projection. So the plane of projection is an imaginary plane. Okay, see, for instance, assume that you replace that person with a light source. Okay, and if you place an object in front of the light source, what will happen? The shadow of that object will fall. Okay, so if there is a vertical wall, so the shadow will fall on the vertical wall, and that shadow, whether the size of the shadow will be same as the size of the object, or the size of the shadow will be smaller, or else I will put my question in this way: can the size of the shadow be smaller than the size of the object? Yeah, it's not possible, because what will happen when you place an object in front of the light source, the light rays will track the edges and corners of the object, and because of that the shadow of the object will fall on the vertical wall. That vertical wall is considered as plane of projection. But in real case, the plane of projection is an imaginary plane, and we will be assuming that a plane of projection is there in front of that object. But in reality, the plane of projections will not be there. It's an imaginary plane. Okay, so as I told, right, so that light rays will track the edges and corners. That particular light rays is called light of sight. If you assume that observer is standing and visualizing that, then that line is called line of sight, and that line of sight is also called as projectors. And if you are tracking only the ends and the corners, then that projector is called the end projectors. Okay, so the end projectors will try to track the edges of the object, and that will fall on the plane of projection as shown in this figure. Okay, so assume that I place the observer very near to the object. Projectors will trace the edges and the corners of the object, and it is assumed to be fallen on the plane of projection. So that fallen image called view Okay, that image is called as views. So if you are standing in front of the object and if you are taking that view, that is called front view. And if you are assumed to be standing on the top of that object and if you are taking the view, then it is called top view. Okay, so this is the basic introduction about the projection. Okay. So let's discuss about the types of projection. As shown here, the projections are classified into two types. One is the parallel projection and the other one is perspective projection. Okay, let's go back to the previous image. So here what happens, the line of sight is, that means the line of sight are called as projectors. These projectors are not parallel to each other, so they are at an angle to each other because it is originating at a point and it is diverging towards the object, and the diverged lines reaches the plane of projection and you are getting a view. So instead of that, assume that I am moving the observer to an infinite distance. If I move the observer to the infinite distance, what will happen? The line of sight or projectors tends to become parallel to each other and perpendicular to the plane of projection. So then you will get a projection called parallel projections. So coming back to this, as shown here, the first image I shown, right? So the light rays converging from a point. So that particular projection is called perspective projection. Whereas as shown here, if you make the lines parallel to each other, you will get a projection, right? So that particular projection is called parallel projection. And under that there are many types. So we will go one by one. So in this subject we are going to cover only the orthographic projection. So when you make a line parallel to each other, that is the line of projectors, if you make it parallel to each other, then you will get a projection, and the views you will get as a result of that particular projection. So that will be of true size and true shape. The true size means whatever the size of the object, so the shadow or the view will also be to the exact size. And the shape means if the original object is of rectangle, then the view will also be of rectangle. Okay, so that is the speciality of orthographic projection. Okay, here orthographic means, so you try to split that into two words, ortho plus graphic. I know graphic means it's nothing but graphical, which gives a meaning of drawing, whereas ortho, the meaning of ortho is 90 degree. So that is the projectors are 90 degree to the plane of projection. If you get a view when the projectors are 90 degree to the plane of projection, then that particular projection is called orthographic projections. The axiometric view will give three-dimensional drawings. Okay, all the isometric, diametric and trimetric. All these projections, isometric projections, diametric projections and trimetric projections, these three projections gives 3D drawings. So that is, it's a pictorial projection. So these three are pictorial projection, whereas the multi-view projection is a 2D projections. That is, a 3D object will be converted into 2D objects and into different views, something like front view, top view and side view and so on. So we'll be discussing about these views in detail. So under orthographic projection, again there are two types. One, the first angle projection, the concept of first angle projection, and the concept of third angle projection. And in our syllabus we are going to deal only with the first angle projection. Okay, first let me show you a video, so which will help you to understand like what is the need for multiple views. I will play. So in the video it is clear, with a single view, all the informations you will not get. Whereas if you go for multiple views, the complete information of a product or for example a particular site or a particular building will be available. With a single view, all the complete information will not be available. Okay, so that's the understanding from this particular video. Okay, so this is a basic introduction about projections. Let's see one by one. Okay, so first let's see a concept called quadrant pattern. Okay, so this is a 4-quadrant system. Okay, as I told, right, the projection plane. Okay, so this 4-quadrant system is achieved by the intersection of 2 projection plane. One is the horizontal projection plane and the other one is the vertical projection plane. The intersection of horizontal and vertical projection plane will give a 4-quadrant system, something like this. When the observer is here, so this will be the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. Okay, if I want to explain that, the first quadrant is nothing but it's above the horizontal plane and in front of vertical plane. So if for instance if object is here, how to describe that object? So the object is above the horizontal plane and in front of vertical plane. If the same object is placed here, then the object is above the horizontal plane and behind vertical plane. And if it is here, it is below horizontal plane and behind vertical plane. If it is here, then you can explain, you can define them as it is below horizontal plane and in front of vertical plane. So this is how the 4 quadrants can be described. Okay, so let me show. So see, for instance, this is a 4-quadrant system. Okay, the 4-quadrant system, something like this. See, if I see from here, what you are seeing? You are seeing a plus, right? Yeah. So to make it convenient to draw in the drawing sheet, we are converting this 4-quadrant system into something like this. Okay. So as I shown here, the position of the observer is important. So the position of the observer is to the right side of the vertical plane. So that one is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. If you look at the image in the left hand side, so I have mentioned the XY, right? So that XY is nothing but the intersection line, the intersection of the vertical plane and the horizontal plane, the line at which both the plane intersects. So that line I represented with XY, and the XY line is nothing but reference line. Okay, see, for instance, so I am talking about this particular line. So this is my reference line. Okay, if you see from here, the reference line is somewhere here. If you see from here, the reference line will be seen as a point. Okay, so that's why I mentioned here the XY I mentioned on the intersection point. Okay, so this is how a 4-quadrant system is converted into 2-dimensional quadrant system. Okay, so next thing is, let's take 1 quadrant for instance, in order to make it clear. Let's take 1 quadrant for instance. So the models I am showing here are done by your seniors. Like I gave this as a instead of one assignment, I divided them into batches and I asked them to do models. So they have made different models at various points during the course, and I'm using those models to explain to you. Okay, so this is see, for instance, like instead of the 4-quadrant system, I am taking only the first quadrant. So this is the first quadrant. See, for example, I will show how it works. Say, assume that I have placed an object something like this. Okay, so assume that the observer is somewhere here. Okay, if you see from here, what you will see? You will see a circle. So there will be n number of projectors. That n number of projectors will identify the endpoints of this object. So that will be projected on this surface, the vertical surface, and you will get a circle, something like this here. You will get a circle. Okay. So you are standing in front of the object, or in other words, you are standing in front of the vertical plane. If you take a view by standing in front of the vertical plane, so that particular view is called the front view. Whereas, assume that you are going somewhere here. You are going above the horizontal plane, something like this. And if you take a projection, what you will get? You will get a rectangle. So if you take a view by standing parallel to the horizontal plane, then that particular view is called the top view. Okay. Assume that for this particular drawing, I have taken the front view, circle somewhere here, and a rectangle somewhere here. I drawn a circle here, and I drawn a rectangle here. Okay. So, but how to draw this particular shape, that is one in the vertical plane and the other one in the horizontal plane? How to draw that in the drawing sheet? Because this is not a convenient process. Because our drawing sheets has only one plane. You can assume that as a vertical plane or horizontal plane, but it has one plane. So the second plane perpendicular to the plane is not available. So it's very difficult to draw in the drawing sheet. So in order to make it convenient to draw in the drawing sheet, as shown in this image, what we are going to do is, we are going to rotate the horizontal plane. We need to remember one thing, always the horizontal plane will be rotated, something like this. So look at here, if you rotate that horizontal plane, you will get something like this. The vertical plane will be above and the horizontal plane will be just below the vertical plane. Okay, and the view you are getting in the vertical plane is nothing but the front view, and the view you are getting in the horizontal plane is nothing but your top view. Okay, so whatever I explained is for the first quadrant. See, so this is the first quadrant, and this is a vertical plane, and this is a horizontal plane. If I rotate like this, you will get the front view here and the top view here, something like this. Whereas, what if the object is in the second quadrant? Okay, what will happen? So I told to rotate the horizontal plane to 90 degrees. So the direction is in the clockwise direction, because if I rotate like this, you will get parallel to each other. Okay, you are rotating like this, so that you will get the front view in the top and the top view in the bottom, or vertical plane in the top and the horizontal plane in the bottom. So you need to make the uniform standard. So here you rotated the horizontal plane 90 degrees. So for second quadrant also, you need to rotate the horizontal plane to 90 degrees in the clockwise direction, similar to the first quadrant. So if you do that, what will happen? As shown in the image, in the second quadrant, the vertical plane and the horizontal plane will get overlap, something like this. Okay, so let's move to the third quadrant. When you rotate the horizontal plane of the third quadrant, when you rotate this for clockwise 90 degree, the horizontal plane will go above the reference line. So this is the third quadrant. When you rotate this, it will go above the reference line, and you will get a pattern of plane, something like this. Vertical plane will be below and horizontal plane will be above, and you will get the top view here and the front view here. And similarly, so this is the fourth quadrant, and if I rotate the horizontal plane clockwise 90 degree, what will happen? The horizontal plane and the vertical plane will get overlap below the reference line, and you will get, so this will be my reference line, and you will get VP and HP get overlapped, and the front view and top view you will get here. Okay, so this is the pattern of planes. For first angle projection you will get like this, second like this, third like this, and fourth like this. Okay, but if you look at this closely, during the classifications of projection, under multi-view I mentioned only the first angle projection and third angle projection, whereas I didn't mention the second and fourth. The reason for this is, as shown here, in the second and fourth, So the front view and top view will get overlapped. So two overlapping images, it's very hard to read and very hard to understand. Okay, and also the purpose of the multi-view will not be satisfied in a overlapping views. So that's why for projection of one-dimensional objects, two-dimensional objects and three-dimensional objects, the projection of second quadrant and fourth quadrant are not considered. Whereas for projection of points, which does not have any dimension, right? So for the projection of point, all the four quadrants are considered. Okay.